A wonderful good evening to one and all. Welcome to the second session of NTA NET JRF training program organized by the Commerce Club of Department of Commerce, University of Kerala. In today's session, we will be dealing with the paper 1 topic, logical reasoning. And it's my privilege to introduce the research person to this session, Ms. Kavya Shabu, JRF scholar at University of Kerala. Ms. Kavya has completed her BCom from Amrita College and did her post-graduation in Commerce at Mar Ivanius College, Trivandrum. She has cracked the NET exam in her first attempt and subsequently was awarded JRF during her first and second year of MCom respectively. She worked as a tax analyst at H&R Block at Technopark and is currently doing her research on the topic Green Finance, the role of banking industry in Kerala under the guidance of Dr. R. Vasantagopal, Director, School of Distance Education. So, we are very happy to have you among us, ma'am, and I wholeheartedly welcome you to today's session. Over to you.
Thank you, Pooja. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm thinking of directly moving on to logical reasoning. After that, you want any tips or any personal suggestions or doubts, we can all clear in the last section. Okay. So is there? Are we waiting for any more people, or should we do a general talk, or can I continue? Start with my topic. We can start. Okay. So oh, sorry, I. So this is the main syllabus. Is it being shown? Yeah. So here we have the syllabus. The logical reasoning we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories. So from this Venn diagram and analogies are the only topics that we have like problem wise. അപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ വർക്ക്ഔട്ട് ചെയ്ത് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് ഇത് രണ്ടും മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. നോൺ മലയാളീസ് ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ? കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ വേണോ ക്ലാസ് അതോ മലയാളം മിക്സ് ആവാമോ? Is there any non-Malayalis? Please give me a voice. Okay, so I'll be mixing Malayalam. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും എന്തെങ്കിലും ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പറയണം കേട്ടോ. അപ്പോൾ വെൻ ഡയഗ്രമും അനലോജീസും മാത്രമാണ് പ്രോബ്ലം വൈസ് ഉള്ളത്. അപ്പോൾ ഫസ്റ്റ് ടോപ്പിക്കിലേക്ക് പോവാം. വെൻ ഡയഗ്രംസ്. വെൻ ഡയഗ്രം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ വേറെ ഒന്നുമില്ല, നമ്മൾ ഈ സർക്കിൾസ് വെച്ച് ചിലർ മാത്സിൽ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. സർക്കിൾസ് വെച്ച് ഓരോന്ന് നമ്മൾ റിലേഷൻസ് പറയുന്നതിനെയാണ് വെൻ ഡയഗ്രംസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, മെയിൻലി ഇത് സിലോജിസമിലാണ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. കുറച്ച് എക്സാമ്പിൾസ് വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും മനസ്സിലാവും. അതായത് ഇപ്പോ സം ക്യാറ്റ്സ് ആർ ഡോഗ്സ് അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇതാണ് നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഡയഗ്രാം. ഓക്കെ, ഇപ്പൊ സിയും ഡിയും കൊടുത്ത് ഞാൻ ഡിനോട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നതേ ഉള്ളൂ. നമുക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ ഫുൾ എഴുതാം. Yeah.
Ma'am,
sure.
Sorry to interrupt, but there is a non-Malayali with us, ma'am.
Okay,
so
cool.
It would be better if you use English.
It's okay. So here we actually represent things with okay fine. First let me just give you an example of a question, then you'll understand. Like some chairs are gold, all gold is shine. Then we have conclusion like some chairs are shine, no chairs are shine. Like this, if you get statements, what to do with it? You might think of it logically, but never think of it logic in it. Chairs are gold. Okay, so we will think our chairs are all gold. No, so only some are gold. Don't think like that. Take these as two different variables. Here we have C and G. In the same way, I'm actually first I will tell the different relations and then we can move. This is the way we represent some. Suppose we say some cats are dogs. So C and we have D. Only some are similar, right? This portion comes to some. Now if no cats are dogs, we will represent it like this. Sorry for my drawing. This is I can only draw like this now. Okay, so here we have no cats are dogs. So we have shown clearly that there is no relation between the two. And the third scenario we have is all cats are dogs. Then there are two situations in this case. Either like this, all cats are dogs. That is, it C becomes a subset of a universal set where it is dog becomes the universal set. Okay, so within this, only this portion where cat and dogs are all together because all cats are dogs. Or there is another scenario where we can draw this, and that is like just one circle where all cats and dogs represent the same circle. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So these are the different scenarios. We talked about some. We talked about C and are not, and then all, and the all has two scenarios, right? And then we have one more situation, that is some are not. That is, some cats are not dogs. That is the fourth scenario we have. We could draw it in two ways, like some cats are not dogs. That would be this portion, like this, or some cats are not dogs could be represented by two different circles distinctively. This is because not all cats could be represented over here, so which are not dogs are not over here. That is the explanation given. So don't think logically, but this is the two scenarios. Okay, so when some not is given, this is the one. Okay, so I'll again go through it. This is for some, that is some cats are dogs. This no cats are dogs, and this whole section is for all cats are dogs, and this is for some cats are not dogs. Okay, now I'm moving on to a question. This is a simple question. I'm giving three different modes. So easy, moderate, and difficult questions we'll be going through. So the first one, we have some chairs are gold. Okay, now we have learned how to draw some, right? So some is like this. Sorry for my drawing. Chair, and this would be gold. Okay, and all gold is shine. We have the next sentences, all gold is shine. So what did we see in the before one? All, we draw it like this. Maximum don't try to draw this one, you'll get confused on the way. So always have this the above one, this one while doing the problems, and in case of certain scenarios only keep the or solution with you. That is, you keep this as one solution. Oof. What is it? Shine, right? S. And you will write or and draw completely separate one. Okay. So we have C, G, and S like this. Okay. This is C, and this is G and S. Am I clear? Does anyone have doubt on this?
No, ma'am.
Is anyone? Okay, cool. So now our these would usually be the options. Only one follows, two follows, one or two follows. There will be two statements given from that. Either one or two follows. Either one or two follows comes when we have two options like this, and we have to compare whether this or this would work out. In that case only it will work, and both of them follows, that is both these statements follow, or neither of them is not correct. Okay, so the first one is some chairs are shine. Okay, now let's look at the chair. There is some, all these are shine also. So yes, we do have some chairs are shine. And do we have no chairs are shine? no chairs are shine. Do you think it's right? It is interlinked, right? So we cannot say that because some of it does come it to shine also. It will become contradictory, right? Some chairs are shine, no chairs are shine. So some chairs are shine only follows. Am I clear? Hello. So this is our right option. So this is the answer we have. Only one follows. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. This is mostly the type of question that comes in net exam. You'll actually have three statements from which you will have to compare one or two statements, not all four, actually one or two statements, and then you'll get a moderate level. So practice more of moderate level questions. So the first one says some cats are rats. So we know how to draw some, right? No pen. Okay. Some would be like this. So some cats are bats. That would be C, and this would be B. Oh, sorry. Some cats are rats. And then we have all bats are tables. Do we have any bat or table over here? No. So for the time being, just keep it. We need a relation, then only we'll be able to do it. So the next one is all rats are bats. Okay, we could do that because rat is over here. So bat would be like this. Now that's bat. And now we have all bats are tables, right? All bats are tables. Are tables. Oh, okay. So now I want you guys to work out and tell me whether all these statements, whether one and two, what is the answer for this? Now some cats are bats. Uh, s- all bats are rats. All bats are cats, and all bats are cats. The other one. So could you work out and tell me what the answer could be? I'll give you 2 minutes. Anyone with the answer?
Kavya, they are posting their answers in the chat box.
Okay, okay, okay. Option for, oh, that's why I'm not able to see. When I switch the screen, I guess I won't be able to. Okay, fine. Yeah, we have, oh, multiple screens are coming. I'm sorry about that. Four, option one, okay. Option 2, okay. Anyone with option 3? Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. We got all four suggestions. So now we'll go through it. Okay. Only one and like first one is only 1 and 2 follows, right? Now let's see. Some cats are bats. Okay. That could be true, right? Some is over here. I'll take the reason. So this portion. So yes, it is some. So this one is correct. Okay, now next we have all bats are rats. Now see, all bats are rats. We have this portion over here. We have this portion over here, which all bats are not rats. Am I clear? In another scenario, when we do both the circles at the same, it could be. But this is the usually accepted scenario. Okay, that is just another option. So here we cannot say that all bats are rats with a guarantee. Now next we have all tables are cats. No, not all tables could be cats because only first of all we know that only some rats becomes cats. So like this, if when we draw, obviously there will be a portion where some of it is not of some of the table is not cat. Am I clear? So next, so this is wrong, and this is also wrong. Now last one we have all bats are cats. Now all bats are cats, not possible because only some rats. So following that only bats will come. So all this portion will not be cat. So this one is also wrong. So we have only one follows. Therefore none of these. Option 4 is the right answer. Okay. Now we have the next question. This okay. Before that, I will go through common mistakes that people usually make. That is, earlier we had discussed that all A are B, right? So all A are B. B. When you hear all A are B, automatically all B are A, people will assume very fast. That is wrong. Okay. All B cannot be A. We see the space over here, right? So it cannot be. Am I clear? Now the next one is some A are B. Therefore, some A are not B. We cannot say that. Okay. Because no one is saying that some A are not B. Only when they say it will be not B. And the other one is some A are not B. If they say, therefore, people think that some A are B and some B are not A. That we learned in the earlier section that in some and not, this one, right? When we take this scenario, right? Like cats and dog, this is of some not. So when we take this, we can't say some A, some C are D, and we cannot say some C are not D because this situation prevails. Okay, so we cannot come to that conclusion until and unless we draw and we make sure of it. Okay, now this one I want you guys to draw and find the answer. 1 second, I'll just make this. Oops. Okay, this is the question. Do you need any help?
Ma'am, answers are coming out in the chat box.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah. 5. Yes, the help is required. So, okay, I'll just draw for you, and again, I'll give you 1 more minute to sort it out. Maybe if you're having confusion, I'll give you a clue also. Okay, so, okay, now some doctors are lawyers, right? Some doctors are lawyers. We have doctors here and lawyers here. Okay, no doubt, right, on this. Now, no lawyer is a man. Don't think about the meanings of these variables. Okay, see it as a variable as such. Now, next one we have no lawyer is a man. So that is M over here. And next one is no man is honest. Right? No man is honest. So we have distinct circles over here for man and honest. Now the a common mistake people make is man is not related. So honest could be related over here, or could be a whole, could be coming over here. We could take many assumptions. The problem is we should not take any assumption. Okay, whatever is given, only with that prove it. Okay, whatever you have the information, whatever possible relation we found, the no more possible relations are available over here. So the first statement is all doctors can never be men. So even if man has a relation with doctors, here it is said that no lawyer is a man. So all this section would never become a man. Am I clear? So like this section would never become a man. This intersection would never become a man. So all of these doctors could never become men. That statement is true. Now next we have some honest are lawyers. Some honest are lawyers. There could be a relationship, but no data is provided. So we don't need to make a relationship or try to prove it true. If it is not possible, then the data is insufficient, so it is not possible. So first is the answer, only one follows. Was this a mistake you made? Have you tried to link honest to doctors and lawyers? Was that a reason why you people felt that this is difficult? Yes. Okay. പറയാത്ത റിലേഷൻ ഒരിക്കലും ഇതിൽ കണ്ടെത്താൻ നോക്കരുത്. കൂടുതൽ കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ ഉണ്ടാകത്തേ ഉള്ളൂ. നമുക്ക് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ലെങ്കിൽ അത് ആ ഒരു റിലേഷൻ അവിടെ ഇല്ല, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ ആ ഡേറ്റ ഇല്ല. Come to that conclusion always. Okay. So this was about Venn diagram or syllogism. This could be seen under syllogism also. You could practice questions using these. And now next we move on to analogies. Okay, next topic is analogies. Analogies you might have seen in different exams. We get two terms and then with two colons, and then the next one we have to find. There are different types of questions. I have identified 5 types over here. I've given one example of each. The rest you will have to practice. You can only score through practice. Okay. So the first one is like leaf, tree. So page, what would be the next? Leaf comes from tree. So we have to find a relation. Here the relation lies within here itself, not within the next one. Sometimes a relation could be like this. Then we have to find the relation between tree and the next one. Here luckily we have within the first and the second one. So we know page, what makes a whole thing out of page. So forest, maybe papers come from forest, we could think like that. Root, book, red. If leaf was given green, maybe page could be red. Okay, so here in this scenario, page links to book. This is simple one, you will understand. Now, the next one is symbol analogy for the word melt. Maybe one question could come like this. This is usually seen in bank exams. I didn't see in net. So we can't say which year might get lucky for these questions. So if they say simple analogy for the word melt, what could be closely related to melt? That is what you should think. Ice. In a net exam, you will always have two correct answers. That is closely correct answers from which you have to choose the most suitable one. The second one might not be wrong, but you should be choosing the suitable one. Okay. So here we can see melt goes with ice. Ice melts into water, and some crystals also melt. Then a cube, when we think, it could be an ice cube melting. So what do you think is the closest analogy to melt? Ice. Okay, there are someone giving C. Yes, water. That is a problem. People also think about water, but we should always think that ice melts, right? Water comes later. First, we should think about ice melting. Okay, water does not melt. It is a result that it becomes water. Okay, so the answer is ice. So when we have doubt between these two, we should sit and think. Okay, give it a consideration again and again whether it could be water or ice. There will come lots of situation even in commerce questions, subject related especially. We will get two answers which is closely related. So we should again read the question and which would be more suitable for that. Okay, so next one we have in like a pair you have to find. Here there was one and you only had to find the next word. Here you have to find the pair. For knowing the pair, you have to closely analyze all the four options, right? Like what are their meanings, how are they related, and how is this one related. According to that only you will be able to choose. So here we have the first one is introvert, extrovert. So options we have against, favor, extreme, interim, angle, tangent, action, law. So which one do you think is the answer? Why? Femina, what do you mean by why?
Ma'am, on the second question, the answer is ice. Why, ma'am?
Like that is what I said. There is no wrong answer in this. What is suitable? What is similar? Like closely related. Okay, ice melts. Water does not melt. Okay, water we could relate to liquid or something, or we could flow like that. We could relate, but melting does not happen to water. It happens to ice. Be it in the factor of crystal or cube also. Crystal could be, maybe if shine was given, it will come to crystal. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Now introvert, extrovert, you're giving option A, right? Against, favor. Okay. Yes, this question relates to antonyms. Introvert, extrovert. Introvert means the person who likes to, be silent, stay within. It's a very broad meaning. We cannot take what I'm saying as the complete meaning. Extrovert is a person who is very outgoing and likes to go out, talk to people, interact and all. So against, favor was easy. In terms, you understand the meaning of these two words, right? So, but in UGC that you usually get words if you keep reading, if you have that reading capacity, if you have that reading knowledge only, you would be able to follow. Okay, so extreme, interim. Extreme means going high, interim means in between. Okay, so the meaning does not actually come to the opposite. Then the angles and tangent. Angle comes within the like this could be, this is angle, and tangent means these sides. So it is not exactly opposite. We cannot say that. And same is the case of action and law. Action is taken based on law. We could say like that. So we have to think of the meaning and their relation also. That is important over here. Okay, now the next one we have, yeah, monk devotion. This is the type of question that we could commonly see in UG NTA net. Okay, so this is the level they would give in terms of English vocabulary building and all. So you can use Google, but I want the answer. You just find the answer and let's see who comes up with it. Without Google, if anyone is able to answer, do let me know. class irukku chacha. Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So first we have to analyze the relationship given in the question. Then only move on to the next. Okay. So we have monk devotion. So now monk is the person and devotion is what they do. Okay. Am I clear? Does anyone have doubt in that? It is through. It is their practice over there. Devotion. Okay. So now if we go, maniac means like a crazy outgoing type of person. Pacifism means a belief in war is unjustifiable. So it is the opposite. So we don't need to take that. Okay, fine. Sure. Renju? Hello? Renju, you have a doubt? Can I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so right, second one we have explorer contentment. When a person explores, he finds a contentment, that is his feeling. Okay, exploration would be more like the activity he does. Monk does devotion. This many people might not agree with, I don't know, since you searched Google and came up with the answer B, I'm telling you this. So that is a feeling that person comes, that is an outcome that an explorer gets. Okay, monk devotion is not the outcome. Maybe if it is self-actualization or finding liberation, something like that, then it is the outcome. Here devotion is the practice they do. Okay, next one we have visionary and complacency. What a visionary feels is an uncritical satisfaction. That is also a feeling that the person has. Okay, next one is rover wanderlust. Okay, rover means a person who spends time wandering. Similarly, like a monk is a person who spends time in devotion, and wanderlust is the activity. So the answer is actually D. And E, I would tell you the E meaning also. Philistine is actually hostile to culture, and the second one is culture. So this is actually opposite of what they do. So rover wanderlust, D is actually the answer. Any doubts? Am I getting anything in the chat box? No, okay. Okay, good. Renju had actually raised hands. Aishwarya has doubt. Okay, fine. Ask. Hello? Aishwarya, you can ask the question. Who is monk? Okay. Sannyasi. അത് ഞാൻ monk എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Is it clear? Okay. Read more. Okay, B answer. No. D is the answer. Rover, wanderlust. Explorer feels contentment on exploring. Okay, that is his feeling. That is his outcome, what he gets through exploration. So the answer would be D, because rover is a person who wanders and his activity is wanderlust. Okay. Now the last one, furniture. Like we would always have this confusion, why this answer, why not that answer. It's totally justifiable. Don't be taken back by that. Always just practice, just find out, find out why that answer came, why not this. You should always question. Okay, it is not a mistake at all. Similarly, in commerce, when we have reasons and assertions, especially at that time, you have to go through these. So you would feel another answer is also absolutely correct for this. Why not that this option did not come, but that option? So you should find why. Okay, always. So the next one we have is furniture, table, almirah. So like this three option, what is the next one? What could be the correct one? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is comparatively easy, right? We know the meaning, and we all we have to do is find the relation. So furniture is the classification within which table and almirah came. So here we have like that only fruit, orange, and apple, right? Building, wall, brick would come in another scenario. This is another scenario which is very good. That is a whole one within which, and within that what comes, like that when it comes. So practice analogies more, you'll get the hang of it. It's not that difficult. It's easy to score. Without any doubt, you will surely know that this is the answer and I got it right. Okay, so that's all with analogies. So here we completed the problem side of logical reasoning. Now we have a lot of theoretical side. I'll get to that. 1 minute. Okay. So now we are moving on to the theory side. Okay, the next topic is structure of arguments. Okay, so structure of arguments, we have like the first section is premises, that is all men are mortal, Socrates is a man. So we derive a conclusion that Socrates is mortal. Since all men are mortal, Socrates is also man. So this one would come over here, right? So Socrates is mortal. Just like before, if you have confusion, just draw the Venn diagram. So this overall structure is called the structure of argument. So through premises, we come to a conclusion that is called as an argument. Okay. Now the different types of arguments are mainly two types. I think Simon sir might have told about funneling and ballooning. Did you get a class on funneling and ballooning? I need the voice. Okay, I can't take the chat boxes in between. So we really could share the questions for practice. Sure. Mainly practice banking questions. That would be much better. Try just online free. You will get free banking questions. So when you take banking questions, you will find UGC net questions very easy. Okay. Now the different types of okay, if when I ask questions, I need voice because I can't take the chat box in between. Okay, so the types are three: deductive, inductive, and abductive. This is the structure of arguments. There are three types: deductive, inductive, and abductive. Now going on to deductive statement, this premises shows validity. That is like guarantees the truth of the conclusion. We don't need to know anything. It is based on fact. It would always be guaranteed. Now coming to this is like the earlier statement we had: all men are mortal. Socrates is a man, so Socrates is mortal. So we know that this statement is for certain. Okay, there is no doubt about it. I'm not saying in the literal meaning of mortal, but because we have these two statements that proves as a fact, we know that this conclusion is also true. So we came to a deduction, like a funnel. We came to a final conclusion. One second. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry for the. So I was saying about deductive guarantees. Okay, like funneling, we came to the final conclusion through general statements. Now about inductive statements, based on a pattern observed, we come to a conclusion. That is, we see small particular concepts. With that, we come to a generalization. Now the premises here we have seen thousands swans. All of them are white. So we came to a conclusion that all swans are white. This may not be true, but we came to this conclusion based on the observation. We know this based on research, right? Usually in research, what we do is inductive. Now the next one we have is abductive or deductive hypothetical argument. So here premises has a fact and a hypothesis and prediction based on that. That is, we have three sections within this. So the suppose the first one, this is an example. These coins conduct electricity. That is a fact. We know for sure that this coin will conduct electricity. Now here is an hypothesis. Hypothesis means an assumption. If the coins are made of gold, then they would conduct electricity. That becomes a prediction section. Okay. So we came to a conclusion that these coins are made of gold. So it was found that in an assumption that if it is gold, then only it will produce electricity. So we found that it is of gold. So people get confused with inductive and abductive. So we have to say that this if clause, like I don't literally mean the if clause. That is the word if should be there. Like something of assumption is given, and based on that, a prediction is made and conclusion is drawn. Then it comes under abductive argument. Okay, so a statement could be given or a sentence could be given, like these three sentences will be given and would be asked which type of argument this is. This is the type of question you could usually face in net. Now the next one is categorical proposition. This actually the only terms are coming, we have gone through all these, that is all cats are mammals. Here all is the quantifier, cat is the subject, and is the R is the copula. Copula is the words which actually helps to make the sentence more meaningful, and mammal is the predicate. Okay, so quantifier here is all. At some cases we have seen some cats are mammals, no cats are mammals, some cats are not mammals. These are the other quantifiers. Now we have universal and particular quantifiers. Okay, that is all and no and some. The earlier ones that we learned itself, but you have to learn these terms. What if they ask, if they give a sentence and ask which of the following is a universal affirmative, like that, if they ask, we have to find the sentence. Okay, it's not that big deal. I'll give it with an example. All politicians are liars. All will become universal affirmative. It is represented by A. Okay, the next one is no politicians are liars, universal negative. Okay, that is represented by E. The next one we have some politicians are liars. All is based on everything is based on quantifiers, and that becomes that is denoted by I. That is a particular affirmative. That is when we have some, it is particular. When we have all or no, it is universal. That's the only thing. And here there is not. That is why it is not is not there. So it is affirmative. And in the next one, some politicians are not liars. So it is negative. So we have A, E, I, O. Now why we have this is for the classical square of opposition. Okay, classical square of opposition, we have all. I hope you remember. A is for all, E is for not, no, I is for some, and O is for some not. Okay, I'll take the Jamboard for making it easier. Okay. Hello. Okay. So here we have. So this you have to learn the box by itself. So if options come, you have to find. That is, if they give all cats are dogs and some cats are not dogs, what are these sentences? So you should be able to say it is contradictory. So I'll give you an explanation to all these, and then I'll give you clarity, but you have to learn this box. Okay, so this is the classical box of I'm sorry, this is this classical square of opposition. So here we have first one is contradictory. Contradictory, we have no to some and all to some not. Here this X, okay, and this is the one. Okay, so if we say all cats are dogs and some cats are not dogs, it's contradictory to each other. That is what they mean. Okay, that is in simple logic we do understand, but there are other words also, so we should be careful which is which. That is why we should mention the AEIO and then find out which is which. In the same goes for the matter where no cats are dogs, then we cannot say that some cats are dogs. It becomes again contradictory. Contradictory here means, one second. Contradictory means both cannot be true and both cannot be false at the same time. Okay. So these two cannot be true at the same time. That means at least one is false. Now we have the second one, that is contrary. Contrary is between A and E. That is, all cats are dogs, then we cannot say no cats are dogs. So this means both cannot be simultaneously true. They differ in quantity. Okay, the quantity difference is the reason they say. So this is not contradictory, but this is known as contrary. Okay, these are the terms given. This is more of grammar side. And then we have subcontrary over here for I and O. That is when we say some, when we say here, this cannot be simultaneously false. Okay. Here, not simultaneously false. Okay. And then over here we have, this cannot be not here not simultaneously true. We will feel that all this meaning is the similar, but these are why it is contrary and subcontrary. I cannot give you the proper reason or answers for that, but you have to learn it as such. This is the grammar side. I'm not well versed with it. This is because not simultaneously false. Oh. Not simultaneously. Maybe I think this could be simultaneously true, but these could not be simultaneously false. That's what they mean. So, and the next one we have is subcontrary. Okay, that we did. And then we have the subalteration, that is over here. When we say all cats are dogs, then some cats are dogs. And then we say no cats are dogs, then some cats are not dogs. That is true. The inference is valid if the subaltern is true. That is, this could be valid if this is true. That is, all cats are dogs. If that is true, then this is true. That is the meaning of subalternation. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Now, here we have completed the classical square of opposition. You have to learn this. Questions may come like giving two sentences and asking which type of arguments these are. So you should say whether it is subalternation, contradictory, or contrary. You should be able to give the answer. Okay. So now moving on to the next section. Fallacies. Fallacies means the mistakes or some some sort of technical errors or structural errors which could be happening. Okay, so in Sanskrit we say this hetva bhasha. Now we have to learn about it in Sanskrit also in the coming topics. So we'll go through that. Now, for now, fallacies are of two types. We have formal fallacy and informal fallacy. The formal fallacy means the error in form of arrangement or technical structure of the argument. It is mostly related to the arrangement or the structure of the argument. And the informal comes within the misuse of language, misstatement of facts, misconception, or illogical sequence. That is informal fallacy. These are the two types of fallacies. Now, the uses of languages. We have informative, the way we use language. The first style is informative, that is to give information. Parrots has feathers, that is giving you an information. Now, expressive, that is emotion of feeling. Okay, like this seminar was very good. Okay, that is like giving an expression. Now, information is this seminar was very useful, or this seminar was conducted to a good benefit, like that. Giving it was a, that would be more like an information. Now, next one is directive or instruction. Please do the seminar well. or please do the seminar well. It could be a question, command, or a request. Okay, it could come in, it is directed to the person. So these are the three forms: informative, expressive, and directive instruction. Now the types of definition. Now definition types, we have, first one is lexical. Lexical means like the definition given by the dictionary, which is like to get the idea of what that word means. That is lexical. Now the next one is persuasive. This does not have a standard meaning. It is neutral in nature but to give an objective. Okay, so maybe like if they are talking about teenagers or like abortion, these are sensitive topics, it could be persuasive. It would try to maintain a neutral position, like not trying to be more negative or positive, but to give a persuasion to a person to think. They have their own thoughts, and they could think like to which direction it whichever direction it could fall, right? The next one is stipulative. Stipulative means like the original word, like lexical definition would have one meaning, but this word could be further used for another use. Like if we say, for example, teacher's pet does not mean he's a dog. It means like he's a very good pet, like he's a very good student, he is really close to the teacher. So that is a stipulative meaning. This is just an example. So when some example is given and asked what kind of definition this is, you have to say it is stipulative definition. Okay. Next one is theoretical definition. Like it would be based on one's theory, one's finding, like atomic structure, product life cycle, etc. So that theory would be having its own definition. We have gone through that a lot in our textbooks. Next, we have precising. That would be very small, and it might not be that clarified. It won't be a detailed one. Yes, it would be precise, but that might not be the exact definition of the word. It is just to give a formal idea. So these are the different types of definitions. Now we are moving on to the next section, that is pramana. Pramana means the way of getting knowledge. Now if you want any from this portion onwards, if you want any notes, I actually got it through net. B.Ed students might be having these notes. These are all new to the NTA exam. While I was writing the exam, these portions were not there. So these are new syllabus topics. So I don't know how the questions would be. So maximum cover whatever you can. Don't go in depth. You have to go commerce syllabus more in depth. First paper not much. So the first I've actually covered all the syllabus. So just go through this in depth if you want. Take each words and then go within that. Okay, now basis of pramana. Pramana means measuring knowledge, like measures to get knowledge. Now basis of pramana is of from three. That is, first one is pramata, the subject or the knower. Second one is pramana, the means of obtaining the knowledge, as I said before. And the third one is prameya, the object or the knowable. For example, if I want to know about green finance, and Krista Clapp is a woman who has written a lot of articles on it. So she is the knower. So that is pramata, and my prameya is green finance. So how do I get it? I get it through Google search. So that is my pramana. It is my means of obtaining the knowledge. It is not like that. This is about ancient. So Google search is not just for you to understand. Okay. Now the principal means of knowledge is pratyaksha, anumana, and shabda, perception, inference, and word. So we'll be going into details when we take the next 7. Okay, you'll get an idea. So there are different schools. Okay, fine. Different schools or pramana models. Like each different schools had different pramana models, and according to that they used to learn. Like there was the Karvaka school, Vaisheshita school, Sankhya Veda, Visishta Vedanta school, Dvaita school, Nyaya school. Nyaya school is important. That is like justice seeking school. So they have a lot to learn about, and this is according to Advaita Pramana. This is important. Okay, this is these 6 are as per the Advaita Pramana. Okay, that is the schooling that I have taken. So these are the main 6 pramanas: pratyaksha, anumana, shabda, upamana, arthapati, anupala bhatti, or abhava. Now pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means prati plus akshi. Prati means near and akshi means eyes. What we see near, we see through that. It is the direct perception. Okay, the direct perception is also known as anubhava. Okay, we will these are the two types of perceptions: direct perception and remembered perception, that is smriti. Anubhava means anubhavikya, meaning knowing through feeling, okay, knowing through experience. And smriti means through past experiences or remembered perception. Now 4 ways of obtaining pratyaksha is indriya pratyaksha, that is through senses: eyes, nose, taste, smell, meaning hearing and all that, and feeling. Then we have the manas pratyaksha, that is the mental, through within mental findings. And then we have swadana pratyaksha, that is through the self-conscious. And then we have yogya pratyaksha, that is through self-normal intuition. Self-normal intuition means like, if you're cooking every day, you know how much salt is required for the food. We don't measure it like that. That is self-normal intuition. We get it through daily practice. Self-conscious is through experience. We know that if this problem comes, we know what to do, like that. Okay. Now next one is anumana. Anumana is also known as inference. When we have done the BCom final projects or MCom final project, we know when we do findings, through that we come to inferences. That is the findings we find through the analysis, right? So it is mainly from previous knowledge sign or some mark. Mark is also known as linga. Okay, logical deduction of knowledge is through 3 steps. Inference is made through 3 steps. First one is perpetual evidence. For example, perpetual evidence means we see smoke in hills. Invariable concomitance, you have to learn these terms. Invariable concomitance means wherever there is smoke, there is fire. So we came to, it is not exactly like that, but just an example. So smoke is because of fire, we know that. Now conclusion we come that the hill is in fire. Okay, so this is how we come to anumana. We come to a conclusion or inference through perpetual evidence and invariable concomitance. Now next one is shabda. Shabda means word or shabda. Hindi shabda, not Malayalam shabda. So word or verbal testimony. So in that we take 2 things: apta vakya, the statement of a trustworthy person. Like, let me say, if we want to know more about research methodology, whatever Simon Sir says, we could take it like blindly believe it, because we know he's a trustworthy person. He knows more about that subject. So the second one is agama, meaning authentic words. The words said should be authentic, should not be copied, and should be of authenticity. The next one is these 4 factors has to be present: akanksha, yogyata, asati, and tatparya jnanam. I have written it somewhere. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Akanksha means to expect, expectancy. Yogyata means actually not Malayalam yogyata, but consistency, to maintain a proper consistency. Asati means continuity, contiguity, which means regular teaching and learning automatically creates the students to question. Like through the when actually through our classes, like 1st to 10th and all, when first and all we used to listen, then and all we started to question. We learned how to question. We understand things and we have doubts. That is through asati. And the next one is tatparya jnanam, knowledge of the teacher. Okay, not talparyam and jnanam. It's tatparya jnanam. It is the knowledge of the teacher. Now the next one is upamana. Upamana mainly means comparison. It is actually clubbed with anumana in many contexts, and it is comparing different situations and finding conclusions and inferences and learning from comparison. That is what is upamana. And then we have arthapati. Arthapati means assumption. presumption, supposition, or postulates. Through assumptions, we further go and learn more things. We try to find the unknown, right? Through known to the unknown. Have you heard this? So that is through Arthabhatti. Through making assumptions, we try to go to the known. And then we have Anupala Bhatti or Abhava. This is a separate pranamam. This means non-perception, cognitive proof using non-existent. Like not everything exists. So with the non-existent also, we could try to build our knowledge. So this is mostly of the divinity side and all. Like we don't know God is not there, but without the presence also we are able to find more proofs and of the non-existent, and we have developed beliefs. So the simple example is the students are not in class. Okay, the class is silent. That is the finding from the students are not in class, because since students are not there in the class, it will be silent, right? So from that non-existent also we could make out findings. Now the next one is deductive and inductive reasoning. Okay, that is different from the earlier one. Earlier one was deductive and inductive arguments. Now this is reasoning. Okay, means argument is the structure. Reasoning means the like coming to a conclusion. That conclusion, whether it is deductive or inductive, that is what we are looking over here. So the first one is deductive reasoning. Literal meaning of the words are taken into consideration. Unlike syllogism, like earlier we had seen, here deductive reasoning, we would look at the meaning of the words. Now an example is, and all musical instruments make sound, and aeroplanes also make sound. Therefore, aeroplanes are musical instruments. We cannot come to this conclusion because the art. Okay, fine. Music is art. Therefore, one second now. That is the next example actually. Okay, so we know that we know that all musical instruments do make sound, but what aeroplane make is not a musical sound. So we cannot say that all aeroplanes are musical instruments. Okay. Now, this one is a positive one. That first one was negative. That means the answer was wrong. So the next one is, all art is an imitation of nature. Music is art. Therefore, music is imitation of nature. Yes, we could say that. Like it is a part of nature. It comes within the subset. Yes, taking the meaning also, it is an imitation of nature. We could come to that. This is through our logical reasoning that we have come to this deductive reasoning. Now the next one is inductive reasoning. Derivation of a general principle from a specific observation, just like the ballooning technique we had discussed earlier. That is, through a small concept we come to a generalization. So the cost of education has been increasing over the years. Therefore, higher tax from, this is one example, the cost of education has been increasing over the years. Therefore, higher tax from the rich are to be levied. So we know the cost is increasing, but that does not mean that the higher tax is to be levied from the rich. There are many other measures also that we could maintain the cost of education, how to reduce it or how to control it. So we cannot say this statement is completely strong. Okay, so here we say this is a weak form of inductive reasoning. We are not saying it is wrong or right. Here there is strong and weak. So this is a weak form of reasoning. Now the next one we have is the past Fast and Furious movies were a hit. Therefore, the next Fast and Furious movie will be a hit. We have the past all records and it was all a hit. So there is a chance, higher chance for this one to also be a hit. So this is a strong form of inductive reasoning. So we have discussed deductive reasoning and now inductive reasoning. Now moving on to Indian logic, means of knowledge. Indian logic is mainly defined by three ancient Indian schools, medieval Indian schools, and also the modern Indian schools. So first we move on to the ancient Indian schools. That is from 650 BC to 100 AD. So this is through, they mainly practice two vidyas, that is Atma Vidya and Adhyatma Vidya. Atma Vidya means the science of soul or Anvishiki, and Anvishiki will be said later. And Adhyatma Vidya means the divine science. This is what was identified in the BC era. So Anvishiki is again Darshana and Tarka Vidya. Darshana is through seeing and understanding. Tarka Vidya is not actually promoted much, as they believed in the additional logic we inherited would turn them into a jackal next life and other penalties. This is actually mentioned in the Skanda Puranas and other works. So they had this fear that the next life they would become a jackal. That is why they didn't go much for the Tarka Vidya. We can't blame them. That was their belief, but still they had a lot of educational values added to them. Okay, then criticism or over Anvishiki resulted in Nyaya Shastra. Making more criticism on Anvishiki means logic. So Anvishiki has resulted in Nyaya Shastra. Nyaya Shastra means right or justice. There are mainly 16 categories within Nyaya Shastra. This is now important. Now we have Pramana, Prameya. We had discussed Pramana and Prameya, right? Pramana means like means of knowledge. Prameya is the object of knowledge. Samshaya means doubt. Prayojana means purpose. Drishtanta means example. Okay, and then we have Siddhanta. Siddhanta means the tenet, that is the principle or belief. Then we have Avyava. Avyava means members involved in that Tarka Shastra, Tarka. And then we have Nirnaya. Okay, then we have Vada. Vada Nirnaya means Nirnayam with the Malayalam meaning itself. Vada means Vadikya, that itself, meaning debating and trying to justify their side. Then we have Jalpa. Jalpa means engagement in long-term disputes or arguments. Then we have Vedanta. Vedanta means make petty or unnecessary objections. Then we have Hitwabhasha. Hitobhasha means fallacy. I mentioned that earlier. Hitobhasha is important. And then we have Chala. Chala means to argue or raise objection. Then we have Jati. Jati means to compare. And then we have Nigrahasthana. Nigrahasthana is the last point of defeat. These are the 16 categories, sections, and things involved in the Nyaya Shastra. So these are important. Do study these. Okay. So like we have discussed, you would understand it's more like a court, like the elements involved in a court and hearings. So then we have the medieval school of Indian logic. Medieval school of Indian logic mainly had the Pramana Shastra. According to the Jains, Hetu logic, they had 4 kinds. They were Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana, and Shabda. Jain and Buddhist schools were the main 2 schoolings that were introduced during the medieval period. That is from 100 AD to 1200 AD. Then we have the modern school of Indian logic. This is during the decline of Buddhism. The Brahmanas actually borrowed the Buddhist logic. The works composed of Prakarnas, that is the manual of logic. Okay, 5 main categories for the course of logic, that is Pramana, Hetobhasha, Udaharana, Agama. Udaharana means example itself. Agama means verbal testimony given, that is it's a verbal proof given. And then we have moksha. The concept of moksha has evolved during the modern school of Indian logic. That is, English word for moksha is emancipation, another word is liberation and all. Then Tarka is important but does not give base, so Nyaya is given more importance. More than Tarka, Nyaya is given importance. Now we have structure and kinds of Anumana, Vyapti, and Hetobhashas. Anumana means Anu plus Mana. It's after measurement. So measuring after a thing happens, that is called as Anumana. Based on Nyaya school, the meaning is a process of reasoning in which we pass from the apprehension of some mark to something else, that is invariable relation, vyapti, that exists between them. And this means going from the unknown to the known. That process is known as anumana. Okay, vyapti is the invariable relation. So it has mainly 5 parts: paksha, hetu, drashtanta, upanya, and nigamana. One second. Paksha means proposition, giving a proposition. Hedu means the reason or ground. Drashtanta means corroboration, or it is similar to situation analysis. Drashtanta would be analyzing each situation. Okay. Upanya means the application, and nigamana means the conclusion. This is how we come to an anumana. These are all important. If we look, even now we do practice these without knowing these, like similar situation analysis we find the applications, and then only we reach to a conclusion. And syllogism through these steps are is anvaya vyapti, positive connotation. We have 2 types of vyapti, anvaya vyapti and vyaktireka vyapti. Okay, so deductive reasoning, or which comes to a negative circumstances, that is absence of predicate, is known as vyaktireka vyapti. And anvaya vyapti means we come to a positive conclusion, that is known as anvaya vyapti. Okay, 2 types of vyapti: anvaya vyapti and vyaktireka vyapti. Now we have 3 types of anumana. Even though we say 3 types of anumana, we come to vyaptis, that is purvavat vyapti, okay, sheshavat vyapti, and samanyato drashta vyapti. Purvavat vyapti means infer the unpredictable. I think I have an example. Yeah. Okay. Purvavat vyapti means infer the unpredictable means like forecasting the future, like saying like able to predict the weather forecast and all, is known as Purvavat vyapti. Now Sheshavat vyapti means Shesha, adu kazhinittu. So means like an effect has cause has taken place, and we would find the effect, or the opposite, we find an effect, so we would find the cause of it. Okay, so then we have the last one, samanyato drashta vyapti, that is through causal information of uniformity of experience. That is like the ancients used to see moon every day, and they see the position of the moon is changing over the time. They have seen this every day, so they know that the moon is moving. We don't literally see that movement, but we know that the moon is moving. That is known as samanyato drashta vyapti. Now we have Hetubhasha, that is fallacy or not a valid reason. Now the characteristic which prevents to seek the knowledge is seek the known inference. That is Hetubhasha. Like there is some known inference which this one prevents it. That is a fallacy. Okay. Now it is of 5 kinds. First one is Asiddha. Asiddha is actually again of 3 forms: Ashraya Siddha, Swarupa Siddha, and Vyaptatva Siddha. Okay. Now Asiddha means unknown. Going to the 3 forms I could explain. First one is Ashraya Siddha. Suppose I say unicorns are pure white. Okay, unicorns are not known. We don't know if they are it is not real, like we have never seen it, so we cannot say that it is white. So that is Ashraya Siddha. Second one is Swarupa Siddha. Swarupa Siddha means Swarupam illatadu, meaning we don't know its physical form. So without that, we find a fallacy in that. Okay, and the third one is Vyaptava Siddha. The third one, that is the accompanying variables do not actually, in variable concomitance means the accompanying variables that like one, suppose I say I brought fire and ice together in a platter. Is it possible? No. If water is more, it will be only water, the fire will be lit off. And if fire is more and the water is less, the water won't be there, only fire would be there, right? So it is not possible that the variables are not accompanying each other. There is an inconsistency in that. So that is what is meant by Vyaptava Siddha. Then this was the first one within the Asiddha. Sorry, first one was Asiddha, within which we saw the three. Now we have Viruddha, which means contradictory. Then we have Anekadantika, which means inconsistent. And we have Prakarnasama, which means opposing reason. And we have Kalatyadapa Padishta, which means belated reason. Once like if it was that reason was valid 100 years before, it may not be valid right now. These are the 5 types of fallacy. With this, actually I've covered all the portions given in the logical reasoning that we had. Take a look. Okay, see, we have covered the Venn diagrams, then understanding structure and classical square of a position and everything, uses of language, connotation, denotation. I think connotation and denotation of terms I have not taken. Just go through the grammatical portions. Pramanas, yes, I have taken. Then deductive and inductive reasoning, Anumana, Vyapti, Hetva Bhashas I took right now, analogies and Indian. This was in the ancient, medieval and modern period. So does anyone has any doubt?
Ma'am, different types of Asiddha ഒന്ന് explain ചെയ്യോ?
Asiddha, okay.
ആ ഒരു ടൈപ്സ്.
Yeah, sure. Meaning അതിന് കൂടുതൽ എക്സ്പ്ലനേഷൻ തരാനാണോ പറയുന്നേ?
അതൊന്ന് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്താൽ മതി. ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആയിട്ട്.
അസിദ്ധ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് തന്നെ നമ്മൾ അൺനോൺ ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്, അതായത് നമുക്ക് അറിവില്ല അതിനെപ്പറ്റി, മനസ്സിലായോ? അതുകൊണ്ട് തെറ്റായിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറയുക, അതാണ് അസിദ്ധയെ കുറിച്ച് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ആദ്യമൊക്കെ പറയത്തില്ലായിരുന്നു, ഫസ്റ്റ് ആൻഡ് ഓൾ വി യൂസ് ടു സേ ദാറ്റ് ദി sun used to move around the earth and not the other way around. So that was an unknown fact. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് അതിനെ അസിദ്ധ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അതിനുള്ളിൽ വരുന്നതാണ് ആശ്രയ സിദ്ധ, സ്വരൂപ സിദ്ധ ആൻഡ് വ്യാപ്തവ സിദ്ധ. ആശ്രയ സിദ്ധ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഓക്കെ, ആശ്രയ സിദ്ധ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ദ സബ്ജക്ട് ഇസ് അൺനോൺ. ഓക്കെ, ഇപ്പൊ യൂണിക്കോൺസിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞു, യൂണിക്കോൺസിനെ പറ്റി നമുക്കൊന്നും അറിയത്തില്ല, ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി എ മിത്ത്. ഓക്കെ, അതേപോലെ ഇനി സ്വരൂപ സിദ്ധ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഫിസിക്കൽ ഫോം ഇസ് നോട്ട് ദർ, ദ ഫിസിക്കൽ ഫോം ഇസ് അൺനോൺ, we don't know about it. If sound waves are like going horizontal, we can't see it, so we can't say about it. മനസ്സിലായോ? അതാണ് സ്വരൂപ സിദ്ധ. ഇനി വ്യാപ്തവ സിദ്ധ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ 2 or 3 വേരിയബിൾസ് അതിനകത്ത് കാണും, അതിന് എല്ലാത്തിനും കൺസിസ്റ്റന്റ് ആയിട്ട് പോകുന്നില്ല, അതായത് ഒരെണ്ണത്തിന് കോൺട്രഡിക്ടറി ആയിട്ട് അടുത്ത സെന്റൻസ് വരുന്നെങ്കിൽ ദാറ്റ് വിൽ ബി എ ഫാലസി. അതിനെയാണ് വ്യാപ്തവ സിദ്ധ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അടുത്തത് വേണോ എക്സ്പ്ലനേഷൻ?
ഓക്കെ മാം.
അടുത്ത വിരുദ്ധ എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ കോൺട്രഡിക്ടറി. അത് സിമിലർ ആണ്, ഈ വ്യാപ്തവ സിദ്ധയുമായിട്ട് സിമിലർ ആണ്, പക്ഷെ ഇതെന്ന് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് ഓൾറെഡി എക്സിസ്റ്റിംഗ് ആയിട്ട് ഉള്ള എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു തിയറിക്ക് കോൺട്രഡിക്ടറി ആയിട്ട് പുതിയ ഒരു തിയറിയോ എന്തെങ്കിലും പുതിയ ഒരു കണ്ടുപിടുത്തോ വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് വിരുദ്ധ സിദ്ധ. ഓക്കെ, വിരുദ്ധ ഹേതു ഭാഷ. സോറി. അടുത്തെന്ന് പറയുന്ന അനേകദന്തിക. അനേകദന്തിക എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇൻകൺസിസ്റ്റന്റ് ആണ്. ഇപ്പോ ഒരെണ്ണത്തിന്റെ അസംഷൻ അല്ല മറ്റൊന്നിന് അസംഷൻ ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ കൊമേഴ്സിൽ തിയറീസ് പഠിക്കുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഓരോന്നിനും അസംഷൻസ് കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ടല്ലോ. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ആ തിയറി എന്തിൽ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്താലും നമുക്ക് കൺസിസ്റ്റന്റ് ആയിട്ട് റിസൾട്ട് കിട്ടും. അങ്ങനെ ഇൻകൺസിസ്റ്റൻസി ഉണ്ടാകുന്നതിനാണ് അനേകദന്തിക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, അടുത്തത് ഒപ്പോസിങ് റീസൺ. അപ്പോ ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് വരുക, അതായത് ഒരെണ്ണം ഓൾറെഡി കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചതിന് ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ്. ഇപ്പൊ എനിക്കൊന്ന് മോട്ടിവേഷനിൽ തന്നെ നമുക്കുണ്ട് അങ്ങനെ പഠിക്കാൻ, ജാർഗൻ തിയറിന് ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് വേറെയൊക്കെ വന്നില്ലേ, അങ്ങനെ ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് വേറൊരെണ്ണം കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നതിന് പ്രകരണാസമ എന്ന് പറയും. ക്ലിയർ ആയോ? അത് ഫാലസി, ഒരെണ്ണം ഫാലസി ആകാം, കാരണം ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ആണ് കൊണ്ടുവന്നത്, ഇത് തന്നെ ഫാലസി ആകണമെന്നുമില്ല. ക്ലിയർ ആവുന്നുണ്ടോ? നെക്സ്റ്റ് വൺ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കാലത്യായ പാദിഷ്ട. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ബിലേറ്റഡ് റീസൺ. അതായത് 100 വർഷം മുമ്പ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു കാര്യം നടന്നു, അപ്പൊ ഇതാണ് ഇതിന്റെ റീസൺ എന്ന് കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചു. അപ്പൊ അത് ഇപ്പൊ എടുത്തു വെച്ച് കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചാൽ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ അത് കാര്യമാവത്തില്ല.
ഓക്കെ.
കാലഘട്ടം മാറിയില്ലേ? അപ്പൊ ബിലേറ്റഡ് റീസൺസും ഒരു പോളിസിയാണ്. അന്നത്തെ ഒരു കണ്ടുപിടുത്തം ഇന്ന് എടുത്തു വെച്ച് നമുക്ക് ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല.
യെസ് മാം.
അതിനെയാണ് ഇത് പറയുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ,
താങ്ക് യു മാം.
ഇനി എന്തെങ്കിലും ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടോ? എനിവൺ ഹാസ് എനി ഡൗട്ട്സ്? Yeah, the notes, the PDF, actually the PPT would be shared to you guys.
മാം, ടെലിഗ്രാം ഗ്രൂപ്പിന്റെ പേരെന്താ?
ലക്ഷ്മി ചേച്ചി, ഞാൻ നോക്കിയിട്ട് പറയാം. കൊമേഴ്സ് അലേർട്സ് ആണോ? അല്ല, അത് വാട്സപ്പ് ഗ്രൂപ്പാണ്. അത് ലക്ഷ്മി ചേച്ചിയുടെ അടുത്ത് ചോദിക്കുന്നതാണ്. പൂജയുണ്ടോ ഇവിടെ?
യെസ് മാം. മാം ലിങ്ക് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യും ടെലഗ്രാം ഗ്രൂപ്പിന്റെ.
ഓക്കെ മാം.
ഇനി ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് നിങ്ങൾ ഈ ടോപ്പിക്സ് അങ്ങ് അടിച്ചാൽ മതി കേട്ടോ. ഞാൻ പറയാം, സിലോജിസം, അനലോജീസ് കേട്ടോ. എന്നിട്ട് ബാങ്ക് കോച്ചിങ്ങിന് തന്നെ പ്രാക്ടീസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതാ നല്ലത്. ഒരുപാട് പ്രാക്ടീസ് ചെയ്യണ്ട. ബാങ്കേഴ്സ് അട അങ്ങനെ ഓരോ സൈറ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, അപ്പൊ അതൊക്കെ പ്രാക്ടീസ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നല്ലതാണ്. കൂടുതലും റീസൺസ്, അസേർഷനിങ്, മാച്ച് ദ ഫോളോയിങ്, ഇതിനൊക്കെ കൂടുതൽ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് കൊടുക്കുക. സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് ട്രൂ ആണോ ഫാൾസ് ആണോ അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ നോക്കുന്നതാണ് കൂടുതലും വരാറ്. അപ്പൊ അതിലാണ് ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ, നമ്മൾ ഐസും വാട്ടറും, ചിലർക്ക് ഐസ് ശരി ഉത്തരം തോന്നും, ചിലർക്ക് വാട്ടർ ശരി ഉത്തരം തോന്നും. അതേപോലെ കൊമേഴ്സിൽ ഒരുപാടുണ്ട്. അത് ഈ റീസൺസ് ആൻഡ് അസേർഷൻസ് എടുത്ത് വായിക്കുമ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലാവും. സോ യു ഹാവ് ടു ഗോ ത്രൂ ദാറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ, ഇനി എന്തെങ്കിലും ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടോ?
Ma'am, please explain again about the pratyaksha.
ഏതിന്റെ അണ്ടറിൽ വന്നതാ ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടോ? പ്രതി പ്ലസ് അക്ഷി, റൈറ്റ്? ദാറ്റ് ഫസ്റ്റ് വൺ.
Yes ma'am.
Yeah, one second now. Yeah, sure. So here we have pratyaksha. Is it visible? Slide കാണാവോ?
Yeah ma'am. Yeah ma'am.
Okay, so prati plus akshi, which means like near with eyes we can see. Okay, so it is we have two types of mainly means perception. Okay, perspective view ഉണ്ടാകുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നതിനാണ് perception എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ so it is of two types, direct perception and remembered perception. So direct perception is known as anubhava and remembered perception is known as smriti. Direct perception, anubhava means through feeling and all, and remembered perception means through experience and through remembering things we do it. Okay, now 4 ways of obtaining this perception is through senses, mental, self-conscious and self-normal intuition. I understand. ഇവിടെ ആയിരിക്കും ഡൗട്ട്. ഇന്ദ്രിയ പ്രത്യക്ഷ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ സെൻസസ് ഉപയോഗിക്കാം. ഓക്കെ, നമുക്കിപ്പോൾ ഐസൈറ്റ് യൂസ് ചെയ്തും, നമുക്ക് സ്മെല്ല് യൂസ് ചെയ്തും, നമുക്ക് ഫ്ലവേഴ്സിനെ കാറ്റഗറൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതായാലും, ടേസ്റ്റ് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് നമ്മൾ ഫുഡിനെ ഓരോന്ന് പറയുന്നതും, ഫുഡിന്റെ ഓരോന്ന് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുന്നത്, എക്സെട്ര. ഇനി മനസ്സ് പ്രത്യക്ഷ എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ മാനസികമായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുന്ന ഉത്തരങ്ങൾ. ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരാള് ഇന്നാള്, ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ഭഗവത്ഗീതയിൽ ഓരോന്ന് എടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ മെന്റലി ഓരോരുത്തർക്ക് ഓരോരോ ശരിഭാഗവും തെറ്റുഭാഗവും കാണാം. Okay, so killing a person is not right, but if he is killing for the family or for the good, it is good. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു രീതി ആണ് അതിനകത്ത് പറയുന്നത്. So that is like a mental perception that we take. Is it clear to you now?
Manas pratyaksha means it is depends upon their mentality. Is it right?
Yeah, okay, it is. And then we have swadhana pratyaksha, that is on the self consciousness. ഓക്കെ. കോൺസൈസ്നെസ് ഉണ്ടല്ലോ നമ്മുടെ എന്താ പറയുന്നതിന്, എന്താ മനസാക്ഷിക്ക് ഉള്ള രീതിയിൽ നോക്കുന്നതാണ് സ്വതന പ്രത്യക്ഷ.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and yoga pratyaksha means through self normal intuition, that is through experience and through like self development we come to that conclusions. Okay, through practicing that particular thing we would be able to come to the conclusion. Like നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ കൊമേഴ്സ് പഠിക്കുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് കൊമേഴ്സ് ആയിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് എന്തെങ്കിലും വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് അതിന് ആൻസർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്, അതിന്റെ ഒരു പെർസെപ്ഷൻ നമുക്ക് എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റും. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ സയൻസ് സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ആയിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ അത്രയും പറ്റില്ലായിരുന്നു. അതിനെയാണ് യോഗ പ്രത്യക്ഷ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's true, ma'am.
ഡൗട്ട് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ ഇനി? എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഓഫ് റിലേറ്റഡ് റീസണിങ് പോളിസി. എന്താണ്, ഇപ്പൊ സ്റ്റോക്ക് മാർക്കറ്റിൽ പണ്ട് ബിഡിങ് ആയിരുന്നു. ആ ബിഡിങ് എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യേണ്ടതെന്നുള്ളതിന്റെ
Ma'am, could you please explain in English? Sorry, I don't
I'm sorry.
No
Okay,
problem.
fine. Like suppose we had if we now got the process of bidding in stock market right now, which was done 50 years back, would it be useful now? No, because now it is all digitalized. We don't need to go to the auction floor or anything. So that is a belated reasoning. That is not useful now. What we need right now is how to open a demat account online and how to go through the stock market and etc, and how to find the best stocks etc. That will only be useful right now. So late reasoning is also a fallacy.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other doubts? അപ്പോൾ കൺക്ലൂഡ് ചെയ്യട്ടെ. Actually, I've completed now. If you have any doubts, anything related to NTNet also, you can always contact me. I would be there in the group. I'm always there in the campus also. I'll be there. So if you need anything, do call. Okay. And it's not a big deal. Anyone could get class. If you don't have mark in class, don't compare that. That has nothing to do with UGC, NTNet. Sorry. Like I was not a rank holder, but I was able to clear net in the first attempt. I didn't know what net was at the first phase, and then the second one I just wrote it because everyone was writing, so I got the JRF also. And I was interested in PhD. That is why I took PhD. So don't worry, it's not a big deal if you just have an interest in it. Keep reading. Take out the always increase your English vocabulary. Okay, all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, ma'am.
Am I audible? Pooja?
Yes, Anjali, you're audible.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We have reached an end to today's session on logical reasoning handled by Ms. Kavya Shabu, an inspirational figure who has cracked NET and JRF at the early age. She has completed her graduation in commerce from Amrita College and post-graduation from Mary Venice College, Trivandrum. Since I am attached with the duty to deliver vote of thanks on this occasion, first of all, I extend my gratitude and sincere thanks to Ms. Kavya Shabu for such an enriching session. I also express my gratitude to each and every participants who have joined today for the session. Thank you all and wish you all the best for cracking in NTA UGC NET exam. Further schedules regarding upcoming sections shall be informed soon. Thank you.